Facebook Live, and TikTok very close on the left. The TikTok camera is a low quality camera. It's a really old one. If you want a bit of technical stuff, Logitech C270, which is really old, but it appears to do the job. And if you're watching on a mobile phone, I don't think you can notice much difference. It's only on big screens and things like that. All right. Thanks very much for sharing the video there, Dan, and anyone else who's joining us this evening. And we're almost ready to go. All right. So here we go. Evening, boys and girls. It's Tuesday night. Welcome along to the Chris Reardon phone-in show.
Chris Reardon, Tuesday night. Reach on it.
Oh, dear. I had a minor little coughing fit there, boys and girls. Don't know what happened there. I was all right. I'd just been talking to my mate for an hour on the phone, and my sister, and my niece, and all of a sudden a little bit of a coughing fit there. So, yes, you didn't hear that, though. I have a cough button. I push this button here. There's a button here, and I can make some very, very strange noises. And you can't hear them, can you? It's probably a good job as well, to be honest. Full moon tonight. Anyone notice that? Yeah, I thought I'd left a light on earlier, but when that moon's full, it's just beautiful, isn't it? You know, you see that moon like just lighting up everything around you. And the best ever moon I saw was about 20 years ago, which is possibly just before or just after you were born there, Red Kite. 20 years ago when I was on a cruise with my mate. And we were going around the Caribbean. It was only a cheap cruise. It weren't like a Cunard. It was like Air Tours or something like that. But it was perfectly all right. And it was fantastic. And this particular night, went out to the deck. And I'm walking around, and it was a full moon. And you could just see all the water around you, you know, lit up. And along, like a line coming from the moon, where it was coming right the way across. Absolutely beautiful. Anyone been on a cruise at all, I wonder? Highly recommend it. The only thing is, when you get on, I won't get seasick. I won't get seasick. Let me tell you, within 20 minutes of that bleating thing leaving the dock, oh, I don't feel well. And I went down to the sick bus and, I feel really sick. He said, there you go, take one of those, sit down for 20 minutes and you'll be fine. And I was. Amazing. And you didn't need another pill after that. That was it. Just took the one pill. How clever is that, eh? Anyway, good evening to you, boys and girls. As always, welcome to our Tuesday night here at Reach on Air. You'll be able to call in a little bit. I'll give you one or two things to call in about, or anything else that you might want to call in about once I open the phone number. I was hoping today to have a new sung jingle with the phone number on it, but it has not yet arrived. And I've got a feeling they're having trouble matching it up to the music, because they kind of have like a few bits of music, and you choose your bit of music, right? You choose your bit of music, and then you write what you want them to sing, and then you send them the cash. Okay? Sometimes I have a special offer on 59 quid. Usual price is about 85 quid. That's one song. So this, right?
Chris Reardon, Tuesday night. Reach on it.
Right, that would normally be about 85 quid, I think. That was a special offer, that one, so it was 59 quid. That's what it is. So when you hear all these bits of music and various people doing either proper radio or hobbies, like me, this is a hobby, right? It's not proper radio. As Ross Patzel's daughter will tell you. Yes, it's not proper, it's just pretend radio. That's what she says. Pretend radio. Well, let's see how well she gets on when Ross Pratzelt gives her a pretend Christmas present at Christmas. There you go. There's nothing there, Dad. I know. It's a pretend Christmas present. Yes. These kids get away with it, don't they, eh? So that's what it is. And I sent it off on Sunday night, but it hasn't come back yet. And I'm wondering if they're having trouble matching up, like, the numbers, the phone number to... to the to the music there, but you know, one of those things. Incidentally, gang, if you're watching on TikTok, you won't be able to hear the phone number because if I give it out on TikTok, it tends to block us. Okay, so you won't hear the phone number coming across on TikTok when we give it out a little bit later on. Just want to say hello to some people there. Thank you very much to DJ Sparky sending me all sorts of gifts tonight on TikTok. It's very kind of you. A gold award, an alien peace sign, a musical note. I think that's a musical note, is it? Or a TikTok? It's a TikTok sign. Another gold award, another peace sign. The gifts just keep coming. Daisies, little daisies. He sent me flowers. What about you, Carl? Don't see any flowers coming from you. You know, you want to try a little bit more harder if you want to get hold of me, my love. Where's the flowers? Where's the chocolates? No chocolates. It's Lent. And you're a Catholic, so you know. What have you given up for Lent? I bet it wasn't that, was it, my love? Anyway, hello to Red Kite. Dan's in the house. Evening to Dan Woodhouse. Evening to Bradley Watts. All on TikTok, these people. DJ Sparky. Evening, DJ Sparky. Can someone just try and send a message to the Reach on Air message system so I know that's working? Because things are kind of in a different place now. We've got all this other gear in progress. To be honest, I could do with another computer screen. Because the broadcast one, which is in the middle there, carries a lot of stuff and it's difficult. You have to keep chopping and changing. I could do with another screen there. The only thing is the computer that's running that has only got the output for one screen, whereas my main computer has got two screens, one each side. I could do with another one on there, but, you know, maybe in the side. Thank you, DJ Sparky. Yep, that's working all right. Reach on Air message system working all right. Good, I'm glad about that. Evening to Dino. Evening, Dino, who kindly stayed up late last night with a few other people actually helping me set this TikTok camera thing up. So thank you, Dino. Where are we going now? Let's just scroll down and see who's saying hello. Wimbledon lad. Good evening, Wimbledon lad. Saying to me, is that roses? What is that? Is that roses? Or little flowers or something? Then you don't give me roses. Then you don't give me flowers. Yeah, that one. Yeah, something like that, I think it was. And over on YouTube, texting in this evening, Gary Ross in the house. Good evening, Gary Ross. Pauline Ashford. Evening, Paul. Hello, my friend. Paul says the only cruise I've done was on Putney Towpath. Oh, don't dear. I lived on there for a while. Paul, I lived on there for a while. I'm serious. One night I went down there for a late night walk. Okay, so you get to the end of the kind of road and then the towpath. And I just saw the water was just kind of lapping at the edge of the path where it comes over. And cars do get flooded there. You don't want to park down that road. I think you know where I mean, near the pub. What's the name of the pub? Is it the Star and Garter? I think it's the Star and Garter. Right, the water sometimes comes right up there and cars get flooded. Anyway, so this water was just lapping up. And I thought, oh, okay, you know, I've got a little bit of time. I'll walk down. Well, I walked down. I wasn't there long. When I come back, I'd been cut off. I got wet feet. The water had come over. You'd be surprised how quickly a tide comes in on a river. I don't know what you would call that. The tide on the river? You know, where the river comes up and it starts going across and I got wet feet. I mean, any further, I would have had to swim, dear. You know, it could have been much worse. I could have drowned. No one cares. You know, months later, the police would have found a body, you know, floating around in the Thames estuary. Who's that? Well, of course, they'd recognise me straight away because I'm a famous person, as you well know. Thank you very much. Good evening to Maureen. Evening, Maureen. She had her birthday last Friday. She had a lovely time. She came down to the pub where I do the karaoke. That's at Central Station in Wharfdale Road in King's Cross every Friday and Saturday night, 7:30 to 11 o'clock. And she had a nice little birthday there. People bought her gifts and cards and things like that. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice in there. Good evening to our very good friend up in Lincoln, Stephen Petty in the house. Evening to you, who this week has got a week off from lorry driving. Fantastic. Enjoying doing nothing for once. You see, I don't like that. I don't like doing nothing. I really don't. I can't do it. I mean, I sit down there flicking around on the telly. I rarely find something I like to watch on the telly. Although, I highly recommend this for you. On the BBC iPlayer, I started watching it on, I think, Saturday afternoon, and I'm so into it. It's a programme called The Gold. And it stars You'll recognise a lot of faces on there. One face, I cannot place him. He's one of the police men rather than a detective, and he's got a bit of a moustache. He looks a bit like Scotty from Star Trek, like a much younger version of him. And I can't think who he is and what house he's been in. He's quite famous. Really good. Anyway, the programme's called The Gold, and also in it is the Lord from Downton Abbey. Can't remember his name now. Hugh Bonneville, something like that. Hugh. Oh, what a great actor. He's playing Mr. Boyce, and it's all about the Brinksmat train robbery. Has anyone seen it? It's fantastic. I'm on episode 5 now. I was literally just downstairs watching it while I was having my dinner before I come up for a little bit of a chat with you tonight. Very, very good. Anyone else seen The Gold yet? Very, very good. Hugh Bonneville, was it? Bonneville or something like that, I think it is. Anyway, Stephen, yeah, very good that. Please tell me you haven't drunk that crap Prime drink behind you. So Stephen's obviously watching on YouTube. Yes, I have a bottle of Prime. Look at this. Yes, now, do not fear, boys and girls. I did not buy this. And I'm not allowed to reveal to you who bought me this in. I have a bottle of blue. The flavour is blue raspberry Prime behind me. And this will be tested out tomorrow on my worldwide famous broadcast, only on YouTube tomorrow night and TikTok. Okay, United Kingdom Talk. You can find that on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. And we will be, for the first time ever, seeing if this bottle of Prime is worth what the kids are willing to pay for it. Now, the person who gave me this, it was all very cloak and dagger, dear. Very cloak and dagger. The person who gave me this, right, had to give it to me wrapped up in a brown piece of paper because that person was afraid of being mugged on a bus. There we go. That's how it is. That's how it is. You know. So we'll be live testing that tomorrow. And this person, notice I'm not telling you if it's a male or a female. That might give the game away. I cannot tell you. Do not reveal the name on here or you will be blocked. You will be blocked, okay? This person wishes to remain anonymous. Anonymous. Yes. I will be trying it live on here. And apparently, they said to me, when I say they, okay, that doesn't mean it's like a Sam Smith type person. Okay? It is one or the other. All right? I will admit to you that. Okay? And there's not several of them either. It's just one singular person. Okay? They said to me that I had to shake it first. And I said, well, it'll explode when you open it. Oh, no, it's not fizzy. I mean, it's not even a fizzy drink. I cannot believe how these kids are going mad over flavoured water. But there you go. They are, you know, one of those things. Red Kite. Red Kite, would you be treating me to one of those prime drinks on a date, I wonder? Would you? Dino's watching The Gold. Isn't it good? Oh, I love it. Here's Hugh Bonneville. Is that his name? Hugh Bonneville? Something like that. Very, very good. Thank you, Stephen. You're not delivering those in your lorries, are you? Stephen drives a large, articulated lorries. He listens in the cab sometimes, up in Lincoln. Please don't tell me you've got the contract for delivering bottles of crap Prime. Hey? Dear me. Hello to the lovely Shania on the Isle of Wight. Good evening, Shania. I'm sure you've noticed there's 2 videos now. Okay, there's a weekly one and one every 3 weeks. You know what I mean, Shania. Hello, Shania. Paul in Ashford says you weren't all that wet, I bet. No, sadly not, unfortunately, at that time of night. Evening to Gary Ross. Evening, Gary. In Northern Ireland, who says, all right, Chris, did Gaz the cat pop in for his last meal before the big move to his new ranch? Sadly not. He's just gone. He's just gone. The 2 girls who owned him, they offered their phone number, and I said, yeah, I'll take that from you. But I didn't see them again before I took the number, and I've kind of spoken to Maureen. This is not Maureen who watches it on the who's with us tonight. Maureen, who's 1, 2, 3, 4 doors down. She don't miss a thing. She's fantastic. She's about 75, I would think. 70, 75, somewhere in between there. She don't miss a thing round here, mate. I'm telling you that now. So I'm... Have you got anyone like that where you live? She don't miss a thing. Here, Chris. She calls me over. Here, Chris. Have you seen what's going on? She speaks in a gruff voice because she smokes a lot. Me and my mate, we love Maureen. We love her. Evening to DJ Di. Evening, Di, up in Scotland, who says it's damn cold up there. I bet it is, my love. Rather you than me. I've got the heating on here. Do you know, I've turned it right up to 15 degrees in here. So hot, dear. I'm sweating. I don't know why I've put a jumper on tonight. I've actually got a hooded jumper, which I went in my little in my John Lewis wardrobe, which I've had for a few years now. I'll tell you what, once you buy a wardrobe like from John Lewis, that's it. You'll never buy another one. All proper made. You know, not like that crap you put together from the DIY shop. Screws. There's no screws in it. No screws. Proper joints, like click together and, I don't know, glued. It don't arrive in a box. Men bring it up the stairs and put it into the position. That's it. And you know when you put, those awful cheap wardrobes and all that business, those awful, and the drawers where you put too many you know how it is, girls. You put too many pairs of knickers in and you push it down, right? You push that drawer down and you just about get it closed, and then you can't open the one underneath because the bottom's gone out. Don't happen with a John Lewis one. Solid wood, dear. That's what we got. Solid wood. Cole is there. Good evening to Cole, who says you are boring. Is that all you ever do is talk? It's like listening to paint dry. Well, if you'd rather watch paint dry, go and watch it. I doubt very much someone like you would have a nice house that's all painted. You're probably living in a tent or somewhere like that, are you, my love? Eh? Another keyboard warrior with us this evening. Good evening to you. And thanks for joining us for the show. You're obviously still there, so welcome along, my darling. Poor old Dino, his heating is on 32 degrees. Oh, my God. I don't believe you, Dino. It can't be. 32 degrees? Oh, it's too hot for me, dear. Too hot for me. In actual fact, I turn it down even lower when I'm in bed. I can't be sleeping in a hot bedroom. No, not at all. Good evening to George Bonds. Evening, George. Welcome to the show, George. Leslie Ross is in the house. Good evening to Leslie. Who else we got here? Jason Hughes, Rob Kershaw. Oh, yes, we need to say hello to someone today. A brand new listener and viewer to the show, who I'm hoping is not watching her paint dry, is Bev Lar, who works at the NHS. I mean, is she free at the moment? That's the thing, Rob. She might be injecting someone at the moment, or cleaning up a wound, pulling out a piece of glass from a wound or something like that. Eh? Is she? So welcome along for the first time today to Bevlar. Welcome along to the show, my darling. Alex Brunt there. Evening to you. Mick Davenport. Evening to you. John Parrish there. Evening. Mandy is there. Evening. Is that everyone? Scrolling very quickly there. Scrolling very quickly down the chat box on YouTube. It tends to be more of a chat box for people to talk to there. But there we go. All right. I think that's it. Is it? Darren Askew, he's always there. Hello, Darren. Welcome along to the show, Darren. Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson cares. Thank you, Rob. I'm caring for you, my love. I'm feeling in a caring mood tonight for some reason. I don't know why. Caring. Rob's off as well this week. What are you doing? Anything exciting? He said I should watch The Last of Us. Is that like a detective? I quite like detective series. I used to like detective series on in the sort of when I was a kid. Stuff like Dixon of Dock Green. Well, it was a policeman, wasn't he? Dixon of Dock Green. Juliet Bravo. Do you remember that one? Da, 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 da. Z Cars. Softly, Softly. The American ones. Ironside. The Bloke in the Wheelchair. All great programmes there, weren't they? All right. Thank you very much. Rob Kershaw, incidentally, is in charge of likes on this channel. Dino, The Gentle Touch. Do you remember that one? Who were the two girls? Dino Da 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 da. Oh, Angels? No, Angels was a nurses program, wasn't it? Evening to LaBelle, a lovely drag queen in New York. Welcome along to you, my darling. Hello to Michael Polman. He's in Australia. Evening, Michael. Welcome to the show there, my darling. Fran Green in the house. Evening, Fran. Lovely. Well, nice little selection of people joining us this evening. Wonderful. Everyone happy together. We try and make people happy, my darling. All right. Scrolling down really quickly there. Good. And there we are. Okay, we'll open the phone line right away, boys and girls. Once again, if you're on TikTok, you won't be able to hear the phone number, I'm afraid, and I can't put it up on the screen either, because what happens is that TikTok then cut us off. They think we're giving out personal information, although it's not. I mean, the last thing I'd do is give out my personal phone number in there. You'd all be ringing up. Very early hours of the morning, you know. Probably people like Red Kite hoping to come round, you know, but I'm not easy. I just want to point that out. I'm not easy. Hello to Little Rob. Evening, Rob. He's a DJ. Little Rob is in the house. So if you'd like to call in tonight, the number is 020-8144-3477. Okay, that's the phone-in number, 020-8144-3477. You can call in about anything you want, all right? And, yeah, that's it, really. I wanted to start today. What was your work journey? Now, by work journey, I don't mean the journey that you used to take to work. By work journey, I mean how you got to where you are today. Now, you don't necessarily have to have climbed up the ladder or something like that. You may have done several jobs. And here you are today doing whatever you're doing. I'd be interested to know your work journey. Okay? So, you can call in, as I say, on that phone number, which is 020-8144-3477. You can call in on that if you want. Or you can text up how you got to the position you are in now. I'll start off with telling you how I got to mine. When I was at school, in the sixth form, I got a little, what do you call it? One of those little, Saturday jobs. That's it, a Saturday job. Okay, this is while I was in the sixth form, and on the Saturday, I went to Millets. My mother got me a lot of my jobs. Cagney and Lacey. Thank you, Dino. That's what I was thinking about earlier. The two girls were Cagney and Lacey. That's the one. And she walked into Millets and said, my son would like a job. Do you have any jobs? And he said, yes, send him in. And I went in and they gave me a Saturday job. And that was my first ever job, working in a camping shop, which was in Putney High Street, called Millets. Not sure if it's still there at the moment. I know it moved from its position to a larger premises on the same road. Putney High Street was renowned for excellent shopping, actually. And it was kind of at the time before the big shopping centres took over. But it was all right. So that was my first job. And I earned £12 for a Saturday. £12 for Saturday, and that was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m, I think it was, or 9 a.m. to 6 p.m, one of the two. The manager there, his name was Dennis. He was really nice. He was a bit of a... he sounded a bit East End, like, all right, Chris. I always remember he wanted me to clean the windows out the front. He said, go and clean the windows for us, Chris, will you? Yeah, the stuff's out the back. Okay, so I went and was cleaning the windows. And he was a nice bloke. He came out. He says, you all right, Chris, out here? I said, yeah, I'm all right. He said, you got nothing to moan about. You can look at all the girls as they walk past and something like that. I mean, he was a nice bloke, he was. I think they got rid of him at some point. Reckoned he weren't up to scratch. And he was replaced by a bloke called Barry. It was a lovely man. I don't think he was English. He come from one of possibly the Asian countries, but he was ever so nice. And I stayed there for a while, and they all had these like jackets on and stuff like that. And with my wages, I saved up for a jacket because I wanted to look the same as them. You know, I think I was 16 at the time or something like that. And, yeah, it was all right. It was a long day. And then while I was there, still at school again, I took a Wednesday night job. And that was 5 p.m. till 10 p.m., a little private supermarket called Bilates, which again was in Putney, and I got £3.25 for that. Yeah, that was, what was it again? 10, was it again? What did I say to you? It was 5 p.m. to 10 p.m, and you had to mop the floor at the end. I did the till work. It's a bit rough round there, though. We used to have a lot of kids coming in and nicking stuff all the time, and nothing was really done about them. They just carried in, because all the booze and that was near the till, and these kids would come in, literally pick up a case of lager and run out the door with it. Awful, really. So that was my second job. And then I left school and I carried on with those two jobs, and my dad said, right, you need to get a job now. And again, my mum come on board, and she worked at a place in Roehampton called Digby Stewart College. And she got me a job in there to start on a Monday morning doing gardening. Well, I'd not done gardening before. She knew I was interested in it because as a kid, I used to grow all these tomato plants. We only had a balcony, like council place, balcony. Right. And one year I grew cucumbers as well, literally on the balcony in pots. So they all grew. And Mum was always very pleased with all the tomatoes and stuff that I grew. I didn't eat them. I just like to grow them. How crazy is that? So I did that. And it came... I was very worried about starting this job. Okay? And I'll tell you why in a minute. So it came to the morning. Mum's come into my bedroom. I think I was 18 now. 17 or 18 now, right? She's come into the bedroom and tried to wake me up and woke me up. But I didn't go in. She kept coming up. You need to go to work. Daddy would be very annoyed. But I just didn't want to go. So I didn't. Dad came out that night. He went mad. Dad went mad. And my dad was the most wonderful, kindest person you could ever come across. He went mad. Told me I needed to go to work. I couldn't stay there unless I worked. They would never have kicked me out. They never turned their back on me. And I never told them the reason was I was scared. I'd been at school. I'd come from school and I knew people there, right? But I was going into a completely unknown entity by taking this job, you see. We're just going to pause there and take a call from Matt. Good evening, Matt.
Hi, Chris.
All right, how are you tonight?
I'm all right. Well, I was flicking through Facebook and I thought, hang on a minute, it's not Wednesday tonight, it's Tuesday. Why are you on tonight?
Darling, there's 2 shows a week now. I have elevated myself to 2 shows.
Oh, right. Well, that's the first I've known about it.
Yeah. Well, this is like mainly a radio show. It's on Reach on Air, so we're on Reach on Air at the moment. The Facebook Live and the YouTube and the TikTok are kind of just add-ons, really, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was United
We're
Kingdom
talking about jobs at the moment. Do you remember your first job, Matt? You're in Croydon, aren't you?
Yeah, it's what a dump that is, of course. Yeah.
Well, no need to tell us that. I think
you said it. Yeah.
You'll find most of the people listening or watching this show tonight know what a dump Croydon is, as indicated by the people that ring in. Sorry?
I mean, I always stick up for my part of Croydon. I think it's the nicest bit.
Is it really? What's it called then, that area?
Well, I'm a South Croydon, Selsdon way. I always say Selsdon.
Don't know. I mean, if you said, what's the other place called now? If you said Purley, I might believe you, but I'm not sure.
No, I mean, I'll tell you where's quite a nice part of Croydon. And I think I heard you talking about it not long ago. You went up for some sort of interview up there to do a bit of Caterham's very nice, isn't it?
Caterham, yes, Caterham, yeah. Yeah, that's my friend Dino. He's in Caterham. He's in Caterham, Dino.
Yeah, it is the Croydon Borough. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Well, that's very nice. I mean, I don't suppose for one moment there's people like you walking around Caterham.
I do walk around catering, thank
Really?
you.
What, and you're not stopped and searched?
Oh, dear.
Are you not stopped and searched there?
No, funny enough. No, I've never been stopped and searched anywhere, to be honest.
Sometimes
I mean, it might be quite surprising to you, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
The only
sometimes...
time I was searched is in East Croydon years ago.
Was it? Sometimes I go
Yeah,
up to bouncers that I like the look of, and I offer myself to be searched by them, and they refuse.
Well, you know, I mean, even when you go to nightclubs, I don't go to nightclubs anymore. I'm an old bloke now, you know what I mean? But yeah, many people used to be touched up by the bouncers, didn't they?
I think so. Well, I'm happy to be touched up by anyone, to be honest. You know, it's got to that stage now, Matt. I think it's the same for you as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, tell me, what was your first job? Caterham is in Surrey, Dino says. So you're lying to me now. It's in Surrey.
Yeah, but no, listen, Croydon comes under Surrey. Croydon, Surrey.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean now. Oh, well, you said Caterham is in Croydon. That is incorrect.
Well, Caterham
Sorry,
is
just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. Carry on.
Yeah. So my first job.
Yes.
Well, I actually did work experience when I was at school in a supermarket.
All right. Was that one of the big ones or a little one?
Pardon?
Was that one of the big ones or a little one?
Yeah, it was Asda actually, and then I left school and I went to college and did catering for.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a 3-year course, but only lasted for 1 year. It wasn't really for me.
Oh, okay.
And then I applied back to Asda and I got into the customer restaurant there actually.
Right.
So I was there for about 5 years.
I've been to Asda for breakfasts and things. Decent food in there. Decent,
I don't
yeah.
think they do.
Yeah.
Do they still have customer restaurants in some Asda?
Well, they do it. They do at the Asda in Boston.
Do they?
Yeah, which it's miles away from here, of course. But I've often gone in there for. Well, you see, the trouble is, it all looks nice, and I end up with several things on the plate instead of one thing. Slice of pizza, you know, and chips and that sort of stuff. Yeah, yeah. Oh, one of your friends.
Is it still reasonable price?
Yeah, I think so. One of your friends is with us, Paul Finicky. Paul's there.
Oh, Paul, yes.
Who says hello to you?
I was staying up there last week, actually, with Paul and Yelly, yeah.
Is that his girlfriend?
That's his girlfriend, Yelena, yeah.
What's her name? Yelena.
Yelena, yeah.
Do you know, I never even knew her name. Isn't that funny? I've known her for years. I've only just discovered her name. And that's strange. Yeah. Anyway, carry on, dear.
I think you probably know so many people. It's tough, isn't it, sometimes, to get, names into your head.
Right.
I'm surprised you still remember my name, to be honest, Chris, you know. I haven't
Really?
seen you for ages.
Of course I remember names, dear.
Well, only the people that you sort of, engraved into
my
brain.
heart, dear. Into my broken heart. All over the place.
You are.
Now, listen, Matt, let me bring you back onto the subject. We're talking about where you are now and how you got there, right? So, job-wise, all right? So from Asda, you did your work experience at Asda. Where did you go from there?
Then I went to British Home Stores,
Right?
which was again in the restaurant. Once I got that catering on my CV, they just stick me in the restaurants all the time, and I'm thinking, I don't know. But it was another.
You didn't really want to do it?
I mean, you know, when you work in a customer restaurant, you're not exactly just doing the cooking. You're doing serving. You're doing, cleaning tables. And you're serving on the hot plate and all that. So it wasn't too bad. There was a bit more variety.
Yeah. Okay.
When you're doing sort of like, I didn't ever want to really sort of carry on being like a chef, just working in kitchens and stuff like that and cooking. So, and then after that, Chris, I had numerous jobs. I worked in Primark. I worked in a snooker club. I worked in a bakery. and all the, you know, and then I probably started DJing while I was in all this sort of business, but I'd always have a little part-time job while I was DJing as well.
Did you have to get up early for the bakery?
The bakery was quite early, yeah. The earliest I had to start was at British Home Stores, because
Was it?
I used to have to take the delivery and put it all into the, you know, the walk-in freezer and all that. And
What time was that then? Start like
that was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's not early, dear. 6 o'clock after bleeding days.
no.
God, what you chatting about?
Is that tea time? Is it?
It's tea time for me. 6 a.m.
Yeah. But I don't know what we're playing. I think, you know, when I look back and think about all the jobs I've had, you know, I worked in a Weatherspoon as well, actually.
Did you? Okay.
But I just get bored. The only thing that I've ever really, really enjoyed is DJing. And to be honest, a lot of the management in supermarkets and pubs, you know, I've never really got on with them, you know.
Yeah.
There's always, you know, you've only got to get a bit of a bad manager, and you just don't want to go in, you know.
No. I mean, but we've all worked for what? I nearly said it then. We've all worked for idiots. Oh my God! I could give you a list as long as my arms, you know.
Yeah, no, even the DJing. I mean, I've had managers come and stand in the DJ box for hours on end, just looking over my shoulder.
Well, you know who used to stand next to me in the DJ box? Vicky. But we'd be just sitting there ripping everyone into pieces. You know?
Yeah, you got on with Vicky, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Vicky, let me tell you, boys and girls, Vicky was the manager of Belushi's in Hammersmith, and then she went to London Bridge, and I went with her. And we just got on so well. And, you know, sometimes I'll be doing, as you know, the karaoke or the DJ, and I'll be doing this DJ, and I'll put on a song that she didn't like. And she'd be behind the bar. She was the manager, and she was very loud, very down to earth. And she'd suddenly stop, come to the end of the bar, put her hands on her hips, and shout right across everyone to me, "Oi, Reardon, are you taking the effing pee?" Shit.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I got on so well with her.
Well, the funny thing was, she didn't like me, I don't think. And after, what was the guy's name before Vicky? That was
Rob,
the little fella.
Rob. Yeah, disappeared.
Rob,
Can't find him. Disappeared.
No. Well, he moved abroad, didn't he, to go into another Belushi's?
That's right. Yes. No, he went to Paris, and then he went to Madrid, and then we lost.
He was so good to me. I used to do, like, Friday night I started. I think you recommended him to me, and I went there.
This is DJing. This is DJing, isn't it? Yeah.
This was DJ, and then I used to, because you remember they used to want the DJ to start really early on a Friday to just keep the work people in.
Oh, 5 o'clock, was it?
It was like 5 to 11 I did, and then another DJ would come in 11 till 4 or
was
3.
Was that Chris, mixed race Chris?
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely bloke.
He was a lovely bloke. Yeah.
He had a dodgy computer though, and now and again it would get stuck, and he'd pick up, but he'd cover it and pick up the mic and talk until it carried on. It was like,
oh really?
Oh yeah. Now the funny thing is, years later, I had the same on one of these computers. Right, I don't know if anyone remember when I started back on Reach on Air. Sometimes a song would be playing and just stop suddenly for a second or two. Then it would carry on. I discovered it needed a new hard drive, and I took it into the shop, bought a new hard drive in, bought it back. Everything's fine. So I think that's what it was. But sometime later, because I didn't meet him at first. Sometime later, he was DJing after me. I think it was a Eurovision night or something like that. I can't remember now. Saturday night.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
And he happened again. I said to Vicky, I said, I think Chris had trouble with his computer last night. She said, what do you mean? He said it kept getting stuck, and he would talk over it. And she looked at me. She said, "You've got to be joking. He still hasn't fixed that." Like 2 years later.
Yeah. Well.
He was
Have you ever had a laptop that's sort of like, you know, that you've needed to actually turn it off and restart it halfway through a set?
Oh,
I'll tell you what, the most embarrassing thing I ever did was turn up to a karaoke night with my laptop, obviously. And then I'd realised that I hadn't bought the laptop charger.
Right, right.
Well, lucky the thing was.
We can
was
go for an
full
hour or
before I
so.
I actually had to go up to the manager about an hour before it was meant to finish. I said, I've done something really stupid. I said, I've left my laptop charger at home. I said, I've only got 20% battery left.
Right. I mean, if
you sort of,
a little bit of advice here, turn the screen down as far as you can, because that's the thing that uses most of the battery, the brightness of the screen. You find the same with a mobile phone, right? If you've got full brightness on there, it goes a lot quicker. Anyway, we got to that DJ in there, and that's what you've done since. Have you broken from the DJing at all, or just carried on doing it all that time? Dino reckons he goes to bed at 6 a.m, dear. He don't go to bed till 6 in the morning.
Who doesn't?
Dino, one of our regular viewers. And Tech Skin is there. Good evening to Kevin. Evening, Kevin. Evening to Kevin this evening. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Have you ever broken from the DJing? Or?
Just DJing still. I'm doing 2 nights a week,
right.
Which is, I know it doesn't sound a lot. I do karaoke here and there. When my mate does it a hell of a lot, and when he goes on holiday, I cover him. I absolutely hate hosting karaoke nights.
Oh, really?
I really do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people annoy me.
Oh, well, most people annoy me, to be honest. I just turn them off. I switch them off in my head now.
I do actually prefer the DJ because you don't have to have that sort of interaction. It's always like, oh, when am I coming on? I've been waiting ages.
Oh, God,
and you call them and they're out having a fag,
Oh, no. The karaoke people tend to be very funny with their position in the queue. And if they think they've been missed out, all hell breaks loose. Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
Does.
Oh, yes. You've got to be so careful. And of course, mistakes happen sometimes. But it's like sometimes, someone will complain to you. Or so, I was next. Like, you have selected that person to go in a different position in the queue. And it's not that at all. It's just how it is. When you're dealing with 100 people, right? You're talking on, like, in front of people, whether in a pub or on a stage, in my case on the stage. You're talking to people on there. You're trying to keep an eye on the sound. You're trying to watch the lights. You're trying to watch the computer over there, sending it out to YouTube. Someone's standing at the front, trying to have a conversation with you. And then someone else comes on the stage and tries to grab the other mic. There's an awful lot to do, and it's very difficult, but you have to keep your calm. You have to keep your calm.
That's the trouble, you see, Chris. I tend to lose my cool, and I just think, well, I'm not cut out for karaoke. I mean, you get some people that come up and go, oh, I want to sing this, and then they just want to walk away. No, you go, no, we've got karaoke slips there. You have to write your name down.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like too much of an effort for
Oh,
them.
yeah.
It's like, well, if I don't know your name, how am I meant to bleed and call you up? Do you know what I mean?
Well, the way I do it, they text in. Oh,
okay. So, you do it.
Yeah, and it works extremely well. There are 1 or 2 people that I take papers off because they simply can't text or they don't have a mobile phone. But most people text in. But then when they want to change something, they come up and talk to them. I'm like, well, can you text that to me? Well, I'm standing here now. Yeah, but I'm doing stuff at the moment, and I will forget. And the worst thing they do is, like, if you walk to the toilet or behind the bar or something, on the way back, they ask you for a song. Let me tell you, by the time you've got back to the stage and another 5 people have spoken to you as you're trying to get there, you've forgotten.
Yeah.
You've forgotten. But, it's one of those things.
There's a hell of a lot going on a karaoke night, isn't there?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, there's one place I can handle it to a certain extent, but there's a place in Croydon that I do that's very, very popular. Memory Box, it's called.
Oh, you've talked about that, yeah.
And you can actually get sometimes 50, 60 singers. Now, that is hard work.
Oh, that's so 1 song a night, if they're lucky.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
but they don't see it like that.
I have done
sing more and more.
Yeah, I have done nights where people have only sung once or twice. I haven't done. The most I've had in a queue has been about 40, and that's really difficult because once you've sung, you've got to wait for approximately 4 times 40 to sing again.
Yeah.
When I say that, 40 is the amount of minutes, 4 is the approximate length of a song if you average
Yeah.
them all out. So 4 times 40, that's 80, 160. So 160, 120, 130, 150, 160. So you're waiting nearly 3 hours for your next song. And of course, if you
That's
come
it.
in after 9 o'clock, no chance. You'll get
No.
one song and
And
that's
the
it.
trouble is, I mean, these people that do karaoke regularly, they want to sing as much as possible, don't they? And
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
But there's some people that really understand the system, and there's some people that just come in drunk off the street and just want to sing straight away.
That's
you know,
right, yeah.
just like-
Yeah, that's right.
But
That's right.
you know, I've actually noticed that you do get your real sort of die-hard karaoke people. I think I've probably met some people that you've met in the past because I've mentioned your name when I've been doing karaoke, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, Chris, yeah." But yeah, I mean, people travel far and wide, don't they, for karaoke?
Oh, yeah.
The real
Most-
diehards.
Oh, yeah, and to be fair, you know, most of them are perfectly all right. There's just a few that are an absolute pain in the bum, really.
Yeah.
There's two
And
people that
it's
were really a pain in the bum. I haven't seen those two for ages, not since they were disposed of by a manager that I was working at.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There were two, but I don't see them at all anymore. Basically, the manager told them after they what they do is they go around, talk to everyone, and try and turn the entire crowd against you. Then go to the manager and make complaints. At which point the manager said, "Oh, really? Yeah, really." I said, "Well, you know what you can do? Get out." Go out those two doors and don't come in my effing pub again. And I never saw them again. That was it.
Oh, very true, you know. If they're going to take the time to moan and groan about it,
Oh
just
yeah,
go,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's just
But,
one of those things.
You do get the people that drop microphones, and you just think, oh, bleed now, you know. It's just
Yes, and these are expensive items, very expensive items, and you can understand some people that they only mine microphones aren't cheap, but there are plenty of karaoke people out there who bring cheap microphones, and you can understand why. You know,
Yeah.
ideally, there's a
Well-
microphone which you know is called an SM58. I think I've got one here somewhere. I don't know where. SM58. It's all metal. You can drop that on the floor as many times as you want. Only it's wired. You know, it's corded. There's a cord on it.
You got a wire.
You know,
yeah.
the radio ones. I've got all sorts of electronics in there, all ready to be little circuit boards. One drop and the thing comes apart. Although, of course, the more you spend, the more likely you are that it will survive. If you do buy a £20 microphone, one drop on the floor and generally it's dead. A bit like people, really. Anyway, and you're still DJing now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing bowling alley in Lewisham on a Saturday, which is quite fun. You know, it's not DJ as we know it. No one's dancing, but they jig around while they're playing the bowling. It goes all across the complex. You can hear me if you're playing pool. You can hear me if you're playing bowling, which I quite like because there's no pressure on me.
No, good.
I just play a bit. I just play a
good.
bit of everything. There's no dance floor to kill. So you know, if I play something
I mean, that's easy enough,
if I
isn't it?
play,
Yeah, it's easy enough, isn't it? Yeah, well, I'm glad.
And then I do a pub in Croydon on a Friday, which is a bit of a rough spot, but
Is it?
at the end of the day, I'm getting paid to go in there. So.
But do you get chatted up by some of the rough lads? By some of the rough straight lads, do you? Do you ever get chatted?
I wish. I mean, I tend to eye them up.
Do you?
You know what? They don't even look at me anymore.
Funny that, isn't it? All right, Matt.
I could just be a picture on the wall and they just wouldn't even notice me.
A wallflower. I think they're called wallflower.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for calling tonight, Matt.
No worries. I'll watch the rest of the show and we'll see each other soon.
All right. Cheerio, Matt.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye.
Matt in Croydon. Various people saying Croydon's in Surrey, Croydon's in London. I think it's in Surrey, actually. I'm sure it's in Surrey there. Let's just scroll, read some of your lovely messages. Thanks very much for sending them in this evening, as always. Mainly on TikTok rather than anywhere else. That's where the messages tend to come direct to me, if you see what I mean, rather than chatting amongst each other. Texkin says Croydon's within London, not Surrey. No, I'm sure it's Croydon, Surrey. I'm sure it is. Mark J's there in Wales. Evening, Mark. He's just back from his Rotary meeting. He does some charity work. He said it was all right until they mentioned money. Then it fell apart. Always does. Don't mention money at any of these blooming committee meetings of any sort there. Evening to Ryan. He's in Skegness. Evening, Ryan. Yeah, I quite like it in Skegness. Me and my my nephew and his family, or my sister and her husband, we go to Skegness sometimes at night, usually, not during the daytime, it's too blooming busy. Quite like going up there at night into and having fish and chips. My favourite fish and chip shop in Skegness is Seaview, which is kind of, I hope you're still there, I know you sent this a while ago, Ryan, which is kind of down, what I call lads car park, right down the end, where these lads go at night and round and round with their girlfriends in the cars. And then the road opposite that, you come down it, and there's a lovely Seaview fish and chip shop, I think it's called. Very, very nice indeed, all right. Dino says the DJ who I've just hired for the night walked out after an hour. I had no music. Why? Why did he walk out? Did he have hassle with someone or something? Well, I don't think I've ever walked off a gig. No, I've never, ever walked off a gig. Never. Gosh. Something must have upset him, or did someone, no disrespect, did someone die or something? Gosh. Ryan works at Fantasy Islands. Yeah, you was here the other night, weren't you, Ryan? I don't class that. I know it probably is Skegness. I class that as Ingermoles. Is it Ingermoles? Well, they have that awful market there. Mind you, in Ingermoles, in the big, I don't know what you call it. Is it like a tent or something? Yeah, I thought it was you, Ryan. In the tent, they got this Jamaican food place, and I had vegetarian Jamaican patties. Oh, they were to die for. Lovely taste. Two lovely boys working in there, Ryan. They were really, really nice. Thank you. Dino said scroll back. 1,000 people walk out. Gosh, can't believe it. That's terrible. And he had Lonnie Gordon on. Look at that. He resurrected Benji's in Mile End. Dino did. Gosh. Blimey, I think I went there. I did the karaoke there twice, I think. And did I DJ there? No, I don't think I DJ'd there. I just went out there once, Yeah, nice one, Ryan. Anyway, welcome back. Ryan, you haven't been there for a while, so welcome back there. Let me just scroll back here. Where are we? Danny Gibbs is in the house. Good evening, Danny. Hello, Danny. All right, he's up in Cleethorpes, Danny. Evening to you, Danny. I'm sorry I'm not keeping... There's quite a few messages here, so it's taking a while for them to come through at the moment. Mandy, our lovely Mandy, who incidentally, boys and girls, just in case you didn't know, Mandy is actually in charge of pain and suffering on this channel, and whenever anyone commits some sort of offence, we do send out Mandy to dish out pain and suffering. And on behalf of all of us here at Reach On Air, we are very grateful for you to do so, Mandy. Thank you very much, darling. Mandy's first job she had was selling cigarettes at school. You won't be the only one. Mandy's first job was selling cigarettes to the other kids at school. Made good money out of that and babysitting. Thank you very much. And Mick Davenport, that's Mandy's husband, his first job was making parts for Morris Marinas. Morris Marinas, do you remember those? Minis, Allegros and Princesses. My father had an MG, which was almost the same shape as the Austin Allegro, would it be? Can't remember that. And then he had an Allegro. And I remember the Princess cars as well. I remember those as well there, yeah. Evening to Adam the plumber. Evening to you, Adam. Welcome to the show, young Adam. It's all right, Mandy. Just giving them a demonstration of what noise to be very, very scared at. Okay, noise if they ever hear that thrashing going on there. Okay, Mick's always getting pain and suffering, and so you well deserve it, Mick. A little whack across the head now and again from your wife doesn't do any husband any trouble at all. There we are. Darren, all right, Darren, started on a building site when he was 16 years old. He's still building 22 years later. Very consistent. Nothing wrong with that, Darren. If that's your thing, mate, absolutely nothing wrong with it, mate. Nothing wrong with having the same gig for years. Look at Ken Bruce on 88 to 91 FM, Radio 2 from the BBC. Over 40 years in the same gig. I don't know if he was at the same time slot. Anyone listen to the other block? I think it's Gary Davis doing Radio 2 in the mornings at the moment, isn't he, eh? Paul in Ashford, Benji's is Benji's gone these days? And Backstreet at the rear of Benji's has gone also. I don't know. I thought Benji's was still going there. I thought, you know. All right. Oh, Happy. Oh, yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me just... Who's that by again? Oh, I know who that is. Yep, I got it. Right, okay. Yeah, we'll have that when we play a song. We might actually play a song tonight or two. If you're very lucky. The DJ Sparky, Premium Poultry was his second job, which must be something to do with chickens. No, sorry, hang on a minute. My first job was at Golden Wonder Crisps. Don't see them anymore, do you? I wasn't a fan of Golden Wonder Crisps. I like Smith's or Chipmunk Crisps, which incidentally didn't contain any chipmunks. Just want to point it out for any vegans that are watching the show this evening. Chipmunk Crisps, they were just like the brand of crisps, you know. Maureen, any news on Steve Allen? No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Surprising, really, isn't it? You would have thought we'd heard something. Dino Retton Benji's is actually gone now. So, you know, one of those things, really, isn't it? Clubs come, clubs go, unfortunately, don't they? All righty. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to play you a little piece of music now, my darlings. Let me see. It's... What's he listening on? Yeah, Ryan, you'll be able to hear this. YouTube, get something else.
I got an ache inside of me. It's a deep hole where I bleed. Oh, can I seal it? You're like an ocean without land. Not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it. So cold, get warm. When you hold me, when you close. I know, I'm a lost case, I'm a mess. But everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray. It's the last thing that I need. Wanna feel something that's real. With you I get that. You're like a lighthouse in a dream. Really distant but your beam is guiding me home. So cold, get warm. When you hold me, when you close. I know, I'm a lost case, I'm a mess. But everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray.
so. My ace boom boom, no flex, no. I won't gas you up like petrol. Just trying to take you way up where the jets go. But you didn't notice that. Keep clocking all my hours, I told you that. Work now, play later. But you keep going off on me. Keep texting like it's all on me. Yeah, you're all in my head like you're my forever, not for right now. My day one, you hold me down. Hard cold like the wintertime. Fight for your love, can't slow me down. Don't go far. I take me and you over living large. Know I'll be there wherever you are. Cause you shine bright like, you shine bright like a shooting star.
Everything feels a little bit.
Welcome back, boys and girls. The Chris Reardon Show reached on there on a Tuesday night, just coming up to 2 minutes past 10 o'clock. We're talking this evening on the show about what was your work journey, what job you're doing now, and how you got there. Perhaps you climbed up the ladder as the years went on, or you just changed from job to job maybe and you've ended up doing what you're doing. You can call in if you want. The phone number to call in is 020 8144 3477. 020 8144 3477. Sorry if you're on TikTok, you can't hear the phone number going out. Got to say hello to, because we get cut off, they think I'm giving out private phone numbers, all right? So I can't give you the number out. But if you want to look it up, just go onto my Facebook page, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK, and you'll see it at the top there somewhere, okay, on my wall there. Danny on the radio's there. Good evening to you. Danny was messaging the show, I think, earlier this morning or last night. Was it last night, I think? He's got a weighted blanket. He has a lot of trouble sleeping, and he's got this heavy blanket thing, which he says helps him sleep. Of course, I remember years ago, we all had blankets. There were no duvets. I remember when I first got my first duvet and I thought, I don't think I can sleep under this. It's a bit like, it's like in the summer. In the summer, right, so I've actually got 3 duvets. They're only cheap ones, from Asda. I know, about £11 each or something like that. I've got a winter one, which is on at the moment. I've got a spring-autumn one, which is a bit thinner. And I've got a summer one, which is the thinnest. But on a really hot, sunny day, you get... sometimes you can't even put that thin duvet. Well, I can now because I've got air conditioning in the bedroom, right? But you can't even put that thin duvet on, and you end up with just putting a sheet over you, and that just does not work for me. It's not light enough. Danny, tell us about your exciting weighted blanket that you now own, dear.
Well, good evening.
Good evening, on behalf of myself and everyone else. Blah, blah.
Thank you. I tell you, right, we were at some friends the other week and she was talking about sitting on her sofa with a weighted blanket. It's
right.
The best thing ever. I said, what's a weighted blanket? So she gets it, puts it on me. It's unbelievable, the weight of it.
Really?
So she has the missus. She works at a little shop in town that sells them, and she gets quite a good discount. So she picked one up. And we're just having the best night's sleep ever. You wouldn't think it. Think it.
I don't know. I think I would think it because just before I took your call, I don't know if you heard, but like in the summer, before I had the aircon in the bedroom, I would try and sleep under a sheet when it was really hot, and I just couldn't. There wasn't anything heavy enough on there.
Yeah.
And I remember carry on.
When I used to stay at my grandmother's, they never had duvets. It was just like layers of sheets and an eiderdown.
Right.
And I just remember the weight of it pinning you to the bed. Oh, that's what it's like.
Yeah. I remember the blankets when we were kids. There weren't no duvets. We didn't have duvets. No. We just had blankets. And it was, I remember it being heavier and more, I don't know, more homely, something like that.
It's a comfort. It's a security thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel wrapped and enveloped. There's a word.
Yeah.
So I think it sort of makes you feel safe.
How heavy are they?
You can get loads of different weights. So I'm not an expert, but I forget how heavy mine is. I should have. You know what? I said to Shaz when I said I feel like I should do an unboxing like Chris does.
You should do what?
I felt like I should have done an unboxing.
Oh yeah, you should have done unboxing. Very important. Yeah, they get more views than me bleeding chatting. My most viewed video is me taking the Uber out of a box. I mean, work that out. Yeah, you kind of
I
wonder
know.
why you're bothering, really, sometimes. But I enjoy it, so sod everything
Oh, good.
else. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I remember as a child we had several maybe 2 or 3 blankets on, and we were certainly just as warm, if not warmer.
Yeah.
But then in those days, blankets were a lot cheaper. You know, you look at
Yeah.
the price of a woolen blanket now. You shell out well over £100, well over £100 for a proper woolen
Easy.
blanket.
But I don't think anyone has them. Everyone just has duvets now, don't they? Because they're just
Yeah.
easy and you can wash them and change them for a different summer to winter and stuff.
Yeah, plus they're dirt cheap if you get them from somewhere like Asda. They're like 15 quid, you know, for a whole
Yeah.
duvet. And unless you're my mate, where he has to have this one filled with all these dead budgie feathers. Dead budgie feathers he's got. It's like, no, 150, £200 for a blooming duvet. Don't think so, mate. Not when I can go and get one for 15 quid. I'm just wondering if I should buy one myself. You know, if I was to put one on top of me, it'd be like someone sleeping with me again. And it's been so
It would
many
be-
years.
You'd be like pinned to the bed. That's been a while, isn't it?
Yes, sadly. You know, well, I the other night, you know, it's been so long that I actually took some tape into the bedroom myself and I taped one arm down on the bed. And then I realised I couldn't tape the other one down because the first one was already taped down. Very disappointing, really. Yeah, well,
All
that's
right, mate.
definitely worth a thought. Anyone who's having trouble sleeping perhaps should try on Danny's advice because it works for him. A weighted
saw
blanket.
Sparky put a comment up as well. He's got one.
Yeah, but he says it didn't help him, doesn't it? He's got insomnia,
Well,
so it didn't help him, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. Reese Hall is saying hello to you tonight, Mr. Reese.
Reese Hall. I tell you, Reese, you could learn a lot from this guy, Chris Reardon. You listen to his breakfast show.
What time is that on?
That's how you present radio.
What time is that on?
Your show, 9 o'clock.
Oh, you're talking to him or me?
I'm giving Reese life advice to
Oh,
look at you.
I thought you was advising me to listen to him. Sorry. I tell you who I did listen to last week, and I can't believe I never tried him before. Ken Bruce. Wow. What a friendly, warm voice that is. It was great.
I've never really been. He's a great presenter, but I've just never really been into him.
That's fair. That's a fair comment. Not everyone likes everyone. I can't stand Ryland Clark. Can't bear him.
No, nor me.
You know. And yet I love someone like Barry Manilow, and believe me, there's people who can't stand him either. It's
Love Barry Manilow.
It's all about a personal thing, isn't it? You know, something. Yeah. Tell me, what was your first ever job there in your life, Danny?
Ever job. When I left school, I lived in a little village in the New Forest, so employment was pretty limited. I went and worked for a landscape gardener when I first left school.
Right. Did you enjoy that?
It was good fun. It was good fun, but there was some experiences that what I know now were really, really dangerous.
Okay.
So I left school, and I remember we had to go and demolish this like prefabricated building, and all the screws on these sheets, the roofing sheets, were all rusted.
Right.
And the guy to me, Les, his name was, he said, you need to go up there and you need to smash around these bolts with a hammer. And I did, and it's only now I realise it was asbestos sheets.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like smashing on a summer's day, smashing, and they were hitting the ground, the dust in the air. So, you know, I've exposed myself to some nasty stuff, and it's not until later on in life you realise.
But did you know, we didn't know really back then, did we? Was that before we knew how
No,
dangerous?
Yeah, didn't know at all.
Yeah, it was like smoking. No one realised, you know, the doctors were telling people to smoke to lose weight, you know. Yeah, we didn't know back in the day, did we? That how dangerous some of this stuff was. I'm sure there's stuff that's dangerous now, like that vaping. I'm sure. I'm sure at some time in the future we're going to discover it's really bad. You know.
Well, the worrying thing is with that, a vape is exactly the same as my disco smoke machine. Pretty much, it's water-based vapor.
Oh right, okay.
So if it becomes a thing where it's bad for you, there's all these claims against all these discos and theatrical companies about, you know, poisoning people.
Yeah. Danny's mobile disco. You could be in serious trouble, my dear.
But no.
You know. Danny Drayton's mobile disco.
I know. Here's the thing. So I was talking to someone the other day. So when you're at school and you're sort of you're young and you don't really know what direction you're going to go in, it's amazing to see there's some people that went to college and university and studied really, really hard. And then you see those people, what jobs they've got now. I had a friend of mine that went and did law and everything. And he ended up basically hating the job in law. And he started a horticultural company up.
And loves it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
you know, all those years that you train and stuff, I just think sometimes you just life leads you into a different sort of passage.
Sometimes
it leads you. Leads you a different passage.
Sometimes
you don't know where you're going to end up and what job.
Sometimes it's the old golden handshake, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I can get loads of money doing that, but they hate the job. I've seen stories in the newspaper over the years of people that had high-powered bank jobs and managing directors of companies, left it all and went to drive a bus or a train and are as happy as a sandbag. You know, they're probably the ones that are on strike at the moment. Haven't they just cancelled strikes? Did I see that come up on my news thing earlier?
I don't know.
I think they might have cancelled the train strikes or something like that. Because, of course, I am now available to purchase now a senior citizen's rail card.
And you're not got one yet?
No, I haven't got it yet. I think it's 30 quid or something like that. Senior citizens rail card.
You get a free library card as well.
Does anyone go? My Auntie Brenda, she goes to the library. Yeah, I don't go to the library. I've been for years now to the library.
It's all on the internet now, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you take me through a few more of your jobs over the years, if you've got time, that is?
Yeah, certainly. So I was landscape gardener.
Yeah. How long did you do that?
I probably did that for about a couple of years.
Okay.
Probably a couple of years.
Right.
And then I went and worked on a friend's farm.
All right,
I was driving tractors and stuff. It was the best job in the world in the summer.
Yeah.
Driving these tractors.
I bet it is.
His mum would come out when we were baling and stuff and bring out lunch in a tin of cider. That was amazing. Working with heavy machinery and stuff, and then having a cider.
Did you have a Lamborghini tractor like what's his name as?
No.
What's his name?
Clarkson.
Did you not have one of those?
No.
He's just got too much money, hasn't he?
The tractor I had was a Marshall 804. I remember it.
Right. Okay.
Boring, I know. If you're a tractor fan, you like it.
I don't.
A tractor fan.
But it was big and it did 2 miles a gallon. Would that be about right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you go late at night? Did you have to do late
Sorry?
at night tractoring? Late at night.
We used to bale at night time. You used to bale the straw at night.
Right.
Because what it is, you get a little bit of dew. You get a little bit of dew on it, and it makes for a tighter bale.
Okay.
It wraps tighter, so we used to bale the straw at night.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I carried my career on in plant and worked in petrochemical. I worked at Fawley Refinery.
Right.
And then I went into quarrying driving machines.
God, these all sound like dangerous jobs to me.
Oh, yeah.
Bleeding chemicals and big machines and asbestos. I'm surprised you're still here, Danny.
I know, that's why I'm in the safe haven for a little radio studio.
Oh, well, carry on.
That's it. And now, well, I suppose there was a few little jobs I had in between, but then I progressed into building. So I'm now I'm quite high up in a construction company.
Okay. Right. And you do your radio station as like a sideline, yeah?
Which is my hobby. This is, you know how you have to have a little... I was talking
Absolutely.
To someone the other day,
This is a hobby. This isn't a job for me. Same as you. Yeah.
His hobby is watching a football team. He pays £3,000 a year for a season ticket.
It's a lot more than what I pay for this stuff.
Exactly that.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Once you've got the gear, it's all right. You just got to keep it maintained, really. I mean, this room is just such a mess. My God, it's a very small room and it's such a mess in here. But I know where everything is. I know what all the buttons do. And when something goes wrong, I can generally fix it, you know. Rob Kershaw just sent you a message. Cause of death, dry ice.
Yeah. It's a worry.
Oh.
Right, let's get on and I'm sure you've got some really interesting callers that want to come through.
Thank you very much, Danny. Great to hear from you, sir.
Take care.
Cheerio now. Danny.
Bye-bye.
Oh, sorry, wrong button. Danny runs a radio station, Engage Radio. He runs, okay, Engage Radio. And there's a few voices you'll recognise off there as well. Thank you, Danny. Dino says he's had a weighted throw over for 35 years. Gosh, he's got one already, haven't you there, mate? Thank you. Evening to Matt Phillips. Evening, Matt. Nice to have you along on this Tuesday night. Rob, is it duck and down? What, my duvet? No, I think it's just, I don't know what it is. It's not, I don't think it's feathers. It might be. You don't want me to go and get it, do you? Please don't ask me to go and get my duvet. It came from Asda. It was about 15 quid, you know. I mean, it's actually, I was going to take one in for cleaning once, and it was actually cheaper to buy a new duvet from Asda than it was to take it down to blooming cleaners. And you don't want to dry clean a duvet. Very dangerous because of all them funny smelling chemicals and all that other business going on there. All right. Gary Ross loves working, cutting down trees. He does tree cutting down. He's done, you know, tree cutting down. My cousin actually he's in Sydney in Australia. He moved over there, married an Australian girl, went over there with her, and he's set up a garden business. And he's always up a blooming tree. He said he was there once, and this blooming great big huntsman dropped down on his face and bit him. He said it was so close to his eye that he actually saw the fangs come out of the spider as it went in him. Sod that, mate. I'm sure humans shouldn't be in Australia. I'm convinced of that. Humans should not be in Australia. Thank you, Mark, for sharing the show there. Thank you. Matt Phillips used to be a demo driver. What cars? Was that like cars or what? That's not a bad job, is it? I remember when I had Land Rover, I had 3 Land Rovers, all one after the other, new ones. They didn't go off-road, I just liked driving them when it was a DJ earning the money, right? And the servicing for them, a bloke would come here and collect them. Always old blokes. 2 old blokes would turn up, right? One would get out, take the car away, and the next one would go on to another job. And then a pair of them would come back to my house a little bit later on. Good afternoon, sir, and drop my Land Rover off. I always thought that's not a bad job, you know. For an old bloke, you've got to be like reliable though. Got to be like reliable for that, you know. Hi to Craig. Evening, Craig. Welcome to the show. Mark J says Natalie couldn't find me. Well, I'm not hidden anywhere, darling. What do you mean she couldn't find me? As opposed to what? Usually been able to find me? Hey. Paul and Ashford started working at 16, 7 days a week in a building supplies yard. A lot of you blokes are doing these building type jobs, aren't you? 7 days a week in a building supplies yard, £2,000 a year. That was at 16. Stopped working in 2020 at a trading bank, 40 hours a week for 100 times that original amount. Left me, left me a tad burnt out. Though it was quite a journey. No complaints and or regrets, would not change a thing. So yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? Fantastic. Mark J is a qualified library assistant. He's done that for 14 years. Look at that. Ah, hello to Vera. Good evening, Vera. She's just joining us there. Evening, Vera. Tonight, Vera, we're talking about your work journey. Whatever job you do now, how did you get to it? Weird City's there. Evening, sir. My friend works for a funeral parlour. She collects the bodies. Oh, my Lord. Could you do that? No, I don't think so. Don't think I could do something like that. A funeral parlour collecting the bodies. Well, I mean, I might be able to collect some of the good-looking ones. You know. I don't want to collect any old people. Matt Phillips is a qualified demolition machine operator. 16 years. Best job ever. I get that, Matt. When you're up there in that machine bashing a building down, you know. Are you good at bashing things in, Matt? You should upload some videos of you knocking down these buildings. I bet they'd get a lot of views. My actually great nephew Harry, he used to watch these. I think they were Australian, either Australian or American. I couldn't quite get the accent, and they would break things, and they would climb up this like gantry, very high gantry, and literally drop things onto the ground, and they'd film them getting broken, and then slow down the video. And that was quite good. You should film yourself doing that. Can you be in the picture as well, please, Matt? In like a luminous top or something like that and a pair of shorts. Thank you in advance. Thank you. Rob says, I'm not sure if vegan people used feathered duvets. I'm sure they don't, my friend. I'm sure they don't. Weird City says, get in that tumble dryer and give us some content. I don't know why people would want to watch. I don't think they do watch the tumble dryer going around. I really don't. I think they just want the chat box open, except there's no one there to talk to. Gary Ross goes on there all excited and there's no one there. Poor Gary. Thank you, Matt. I look forward to receiving your videos tomorrow. All types. Mark is a full-time carer and transport campaigner. It's really interesting to find out all these different jobs and how you've got there and that sort of thing. Jason worked on the waltzers at the fair, but found myself going around in circles. Anyone else there? Let me just scroll up quickly. It's really difficult to pick out the bits that are sort of pointing at me rather than having conversation. Gary says weight blankets usually contain a corpse. A lot of talk about dead people tonight, isn't there, really? Oh, Gary says Iceland. You were talking about Golden Wonder crisps. Iceland sell the multi-pack. I didn't know that. Didn't know that. All right, that phone number's still open if you'd like to call in tonight. The number is 020 8144 3477. 020 8144 3477. I'll just tell you the rest of my journey, okay? My work journey so far. So, after working in the supermarket for a while, I think I had an interview at the BBC at some point. Evening, Kelly. Welcome to the show, Kelly, darling. And I filled in this application form, went up to the BBC and met this lady who gave me an interview. And she said, well, what do you want to do here? And I said, well, I don't know, really. I just didn't know what to say. She said, well, we could probably get you in the typing pool and do some typing. And I I don't know if I really want to do that, like typing. I think I wanted to be in front of a microphone, you see. The same as I'm doing now. I wanted to be on the radio. I'd taken great interest in the radio when I was a kid. When LBC and Capital Radio started, I remember taking a transistor radio to my primary school. I was 10, I don't know, 9, 10, and listening to these test broadcasts. I was absolutely fascinated. And I'd take I had a shortwave radio as well that I used to take to bed and flick around listening to different channels, including the old BBC World Service, you know. Used to love listening to that on the hour. And I had an ambition of having my own show on radio too, actually, for years. And then I discovered Tony Blackburn, and my God, he was like, to me, the top person, the top DJ ever, and still is, in my mind, Tony Blackburn, right? Yeah. And then slightly off the job conversation, I set up a pirate radio station, and I did that for a while. I got nicked for that. You weren't really nicked, really. You know, it's not like you're causing any harm, but that's okay. You know. I'm just trying to think. Where were we? BBC interview. So nothing happened there, and then again, it was always my mum. She pushed me. She wrote to British Telecom and said my son would like to become an engineer. They wrote back, does he have any qualifications? No. Okay, well, he can't do that. but we could have a job for him here, coming for an interview. And I went to interview, and I got a job on Directory Inquiries, 142 it was, looking up phone numbers in London. So I did that for a few years, and I very quickly discovered that once you were into the company, you could transfer anywhere without qualifications, right? So I did 142 for many years, which was one of the most boring jobs ever, I have to tell you. Just looking up phone numbers for people all day long, you know. British Telecom really looked after its staff in those days. We had a canteen. We had the most wonderful lunches there. Really, like a proper 3-course dinner. You could have soup and a main meal and a pudding, all for a couple of quid. Right? So I did that. We had a 15-minute break in the morning. Again, we had little canteens. A little canteen on our floor, as well as the big one for the whole building downstairs. This was in Wimbledon, Warple Road. Quite posh round there. And for our tea break, we had 15 minutes, and we would have like a dog roll, you know, sausage in a roll, so to speak, or something else. That's what I had, or a bacon roll, cup of tea, then you go back to work. Then lunch would be lunch, you know, like I just said to you. I'd have a dinner and a pudding for a couple of quid. And then you'd have a tea break as well in the evening, where you could go and have a cup of tea and a cake. It was wonderful, and they really looked after you. And from there, I went to 100, which was in Kingston, and I didn't like it. Didn't like it. I didn't know the people. I didn't feel I fitted in there at all. Just didn't fit in. You know how sometimes, and you don't, you know, you can't fit in everywhere. Sometimes you might well think you are. There's plenty of blokes out there like that, you know. They think, oh, I fit in everywhere, you know. No, you don't, mate. No, you think you do, but you don't. And so I left there and I went back to 142. And then this advert come up for the engineering section 151. Now, at the time, if you dialed 141, you would get through to the engineers. And an engineer would answer your call, right? And send another engineer to come and deal. Well, British Telecom, in their wisdom, decided to change that. And they thought it would be better for a trained operator to answer those calls and then pass the job on to an engineer like that. Now, the engineers were all up in arms about this. They didn't want operators ending up on their side of the wall. But it happened, and I got the 151 job, and I was there. And I was at Wandsworth first. Then I transferred to Mortlake, and I made it known that I wanted to be an engineer. And this bloke come up from downstairs, Larry his name was. And he said, you Chris? Yeah. Hello, I'm Larry. I look after the engineers downstairs. I've been told you want to be an engineer. Is that right? I said, yes, please, Larry. He said, okay. He said, next time a position comes available, I'll come up and let you know. Okay, so a couple of months passed or whatever. The 151 job was all right. That was quite good. Quite enjoyed that. It was all right. But you were sitting in an office. And then one Thursday afternoon, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Larry, oh, all right, Chris. Hello, mate. I've got a bloke finishing tomorrow. We can start you Monday downstairs. I've arranged everything. If you could just turn up 8 o'clock Monday, come downstairs in the room with all the other blokes, and I'll introduce you all, and we'll put you out with someone for 6 weeks, after which you get your own van. And that was it. It was as quick as that. And then I was doing the job I wanted to do, and I enjoyed it very much. I can't remember how many years I did it for. It wasn't a long time. My total time with BT was 11 years. Okay? And I've just started getting a small pension for those 11 years. It's very, very small. It's nothing to write home about. Right? It's about, I think it works out to about 60 quid a week, which is 60 quid, you know, it's better than nothing, isn't it? You know, that pays me electric and gas bill. And that was my journey. And from BT, I started doing mobile discos. I'd been to my sister's engagement party, and I saw this mobile disco there, and I thought, I want to do that. And I started getting a few little bits of gear together, and I used to go and DJ over at a pub in Roehampton called the Highwayman. And the first time I turned up there with a suitcase full of records and 2 standalone record players. You know those old, like a dance set player where you lift the lid up and put a record. I literally turned up with 2 of those. I had to make a couple of trips from my house to there, and that's how I started DJing. While I was still working at BT, now and again I did this pub, and then I think I was doing every Friday. And gradually I started buying a few little more bits and pieces for the wages, which was only about 10 quid DJing or something like that. And then I got a bit more of a mobile setup, and I started doing weddings and things like this. And then I started DJing in pubs. The first pub I DJed in was the Stag in Battersea, okay, run by a lady called Sylvie. Wonderful woman. Wonderful woman. Was it Sylvie? No, hang on a minute. It's not Sylvie. Oh gosh, what's her name now? Do you know, I can't remember her name now. So long ago. Can't remember. Anyway, I DJ'd for her in this pub, and then I got a job in the next pub down from her on a different night of the week. And then, more pubs, and then carried on with the mobile. Then I got a job at the Black Cap in Camden, and that was it really from there. And I got so busy with the DJing work that I had to make a choice between BT and the DJing work, and I chose the DJing work. And I left BT. I worked out my notice. The governor said he expected this was going to happen when I went in and resigned. I said, why'd you say that? He said, I saw this coming because of how busy you were with all your other stuff. He said, that's okay. And they were quite all right about it. At the time, BT was going through some serious changes, and they had Mercury 1-to-1 come up, and blokes were leaving BT to go to their competition because the money was better. If they said that, why are you leaving? I'm going to 1-to-1. They were then escorted off the premises there and then, right? If you were going to work for competition of BT and you went and saw the governor, I'm going to work. I need to hand him my notice. Where are you going? Mercury 1-to-1. That's it. Okay. Can I ask you to get your bags? And you were taken off the premises immediately. Didn't matter how long you'd been there. But I was going DJing. So that was nothing to do with telecommunications. So perhaps I should have told him I was going to Mercury, because I then had to work out my notice. But that's okay. I enjoyed the job. I loved it. Going in people's houses, up and down the telegraph poles, even in the winter or the rain. Although if there's any sort of slight indication there might be a thunderstorm, you weren't allowed up there. You had to come back down, and just they didn't have a phone, something like that. And here we are now. I'm still doing. I was DJing for years. Then I introduced karaoke, and now I just do 2 karaoke nights, and that is my job. That's my job. I'm a landlord as well, as you know. When my mother and father died, my father in '96 and my mother in 2000. When my mother died, with my half of the money, I put it into properties, and my sister, she did what she did with her half. Everything went straight down the middle like that. And that's what I do. That's how I got here to this place. So I haven't really gone up, if you saw. I kind of crossed the different things and what have you. And it was interesting. Interesting. Hi to Natalie. Good evening, Natalie. Welcome to the show, Nats. Evening. And we said hello to Vera from Vera's Choice in the morning, didn't we? I'm sure I did. Evening, Vera. Evening, Vera. Kelly's there. Evening, Kelly. She worked at Birmingham Chamber of Commerce and laughed at their bistro. Was it, what's the word? Was it subsidised there, Kelly? I mean, the BT one was subsidised. Subsidised, I would imagine, quite heavily, actually. There we are. Paul Adamson, that's a good idea. If folk put your name at the start of a comment on those of you on YouTube, then I'll know it's for me. That might be a good idea, actually. That might be a good idea. And hello to Mr. Dr. SOS Gregorian. Evening to you. Evening to you. Okay. Anyone else want to tell me about their trip to where they are now in the place of work? Do let us know. You got the phone number up there in front of you on YouTube there. Or you can send us a text. There is a text number. Okay. The text number is 07451 287 337. It's in the top corner as well. 07451 287 337 if you want to send a text, or of course send us a message on TikTok or the Reach on air message system, things that you've done. We're going to play another little 2 tunes tonight. Now, so we're going to play a little tune now.
Guess I was an easy one to fool. Blue-eyed and blonde, just a regular tool. But some things you just don't realize. Even though they're happening right in front of your eyes, I'm not even sure just what went wrong. All I know, I've stayed here for too long. Some tears are softer than others. Sometimes even gold can rust. Some flags will suddenly change colors, and that's what makes it hard to know just what to trust. And even gold can rust. Now I'm slowly building
Don't forget, gang, I do a daily little radio show here at Reach on Air. That's in the mornings between 9 and 10 o'clock. It's dance music, chat, and a little bit of fun. We don't do anything serious at all in the morning. Monday to Friday between 9 and 10 o'clock. Something else I've been doing recently is a bit of DIY. Oh, yes, Chris Reardon does DIY. And last week, I think I told you that the radiator in this particular little... It's only a very small room I'm in here, as I mentioned earlier on, is down like in the corner there. Dino, you enjoyed that, didn't you, that Whitney? Who likes Whitney? Sister Whitney. Why can't... We need a hologram show from her, really, a bit like the ABBA show that I've seen. I think that would get... I think that would pack people in, a Whitney Houston show or something, or an Elvis show. I'd go and see an Elvis. I watched the Elvis film on... how did I watch that? I can't remember how I watched that. I watched the Elvis film last week, I think it was. Fantastic. And suddenly all these tunes came together. And Elvis, my ex-wife was a huge Elvis fan. And I really... I didn't dislike him, but I could like take him or leave him. It didn't really matter to me at all. But then I watched, and I've seen most of his films again. I think I watched them with her years and years ago. And I watched this Elvis film, and suddenly I really got into it. And I thought, wow, you've had a bit of a journey, really. Bit of a journey. You liked the old gospel music. He was into the, those churches. What are they called? Gospel type churches. He'd be in there with all them because he loved the music. Fantastic film. If you get a chance to watch that, watch the Elvis film. Natalie's watched The Bodyguard. Yeah, I've seen that film. Did you get through how many boxes of tissues for that, Natalie? Dino loves Whitney Houston. Yeah, I love her stuff. I love the big ballads. Anything like that with an orchestra. Hi to Ross Patel. Evening, Ross. He's been out for an evening walk this evening. Good evening, Ross. -2 degrees. Freezing now. Tuning in, dear. Who is it? Evening, Ross. Thanks for joining us. Are you actually in now? Or are you... Oh, sorry, I just banged my microphone. Or are you sort of plodding about still outside on your way home? Phone lines are still open, incidentally, boys and girls. If you want to call in, I'll give out that number one more time for you this evening. As always, gang, if you're in TikTok... On TikTok, you won't hear the number, I'm afraid. 020-8144-3477 if you want to call in. 020-8144-3477. And if you've just joined us, we've been talking this evening about your jobs. Where did you start and what are you doing now and what did you do in between? If you want to call in and tell me about that, it'd be nice to hear from you. Mark J says it was -1 in the car on the way home. I bet you were bleeding cold. In the car? Oh, have you not got heating in that car, dear? Actually, people with electric cars, I think they can't have the heating on as much, can they? From what I've seen, because it's the case of doing anything to sort of keep the battery from depleting. Otherwise, you don't get home, will you? I saw a YouTube the other day. They're now talking about hydrogen cars again. Toyota were going down the hydrogen car route. They were convinced that was going to be the thing, and everyone else went electric, and it kind of threw a spanner in the works. I'd like to see where we are in 10 years' time. I don't know. I don't know how that will work on. Anyway. Yeah, that's true. Ross is there. He's in his cosy conservatory with the heater on and a glass of wine. Just one glass? More like a bottle, dear. And Mark says, the car said it was -1. I'm guessing that was... Yeah, that was outside, Mark, dear. Outside. Vera, from Vera's Choice in the Morning. Good evening.
Evening.
You're a little night owl tonight, aren't you, darling? People think you only appear during the morning, you see.
Oh, no, I'm not a morning person, that's for sure.
Yes, you are. You're there every morning at 9 o'clock. Oh, tell a lie.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't get there till late.
Oh, well, yes, okay. Enough. That one on me.
Yeah.
It's like a full moon as well. Ow!
Correct. Oh, let's hear some dog noises. No, wolf noises. Go on, do it again. Now, what?
Now you're making me laugh.
What noises do foxes make? Any idea?
Sound like screeching babies.
Do they? Yeah. Well, I suppose they do. I don't know. I have a couple of foxes come in my garden. All the time, yeah. They've dug a hole under the fence and they come in. I'm not particularly bothered by them, but you know, I don't know if that's good or bad. Really, having foxes in the garden. Perhaps it's luck. Is it luck? Is that luck?
They deposit their waste in your garden.
Oh, I do hope not, dear. I do hope not.
Smell, apparently.
You know, are they like normal animals, or are they like the occult or something, or voodoo animals? Because you do a little bit of voodoo in your spare time, don't you, Vera?
Where are we going with this, Chris? Voodoo animals, and do I do voodoo in my spare? Where are we going with this?
I think you're sitting there. Ross Patzelt said he had pins and needles in his legs the other morning, and I thought, oh, Vera's got that old doll out again.
Well, you know where to start. I don't think there's enough go in the shop to make a doll of Ross Patzelt, is there?
Kelly Barron reckons foxes are lovely. They are pretty little creatures, aren't they, foxes?
Very shy creatures.
They are shy. They are shy. I was just going to talk about my DIY, but your call is important to us, and you will be connected to a customer services representative as soon as one becomes available. Please hold the line. Hello, Reach on Air. Can I help?
So what if you can?
Anyway, what are you calling about? Your jobs?
Well, I just got the tail end of what you were saying and what you've been talking about this evening. Cause,
sorry.
You know, I've been...
Sorry, just going to have to stop you there because someone has sent in a tip tonight.
Well, that's more important than my call, I can assure you.
Absolutely. God, of course it is, my love. Someone has sent in a tip tonight, and we must thank someone. Let me just bring up the name, which has just appeared in front of me here. It is...
By all means.
It is Andrew Marshall. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Ooh.
Sending in a tip. I should put the little tip thing up there, really, in case anyone... You know,
T-top.
In the unusual thing that someone might want to send a tip, they wouldn't know where to send it to, would they? So
send it to me.
I'll stick that up. You got enough money? You got pensions coming in all over the place. You have? What you chatting about? Dear me, God. You could pay for all the electricity that everyone uses in your block of flats, dear.
I'm already doing that now. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, how'd you work that out then? I can't find this. I can't find it. Anyway, carry on, Vera.
It cost me a fortune. Yes, I was having difficulty trying to connect to the live feed of TikTok because the area that I'm in, Walthamstow,
ghastly place.
High velocity of electricity all over the place, which enables me to so I can't do it. So here I am calling you instead.
What do you mean a high velocity of electricity?
Electricity is some sort of signal that blocks my phone for some reason. Some certain areas in Walthamstow.
Oh.
I can't get signals.
Do you think it could be aliens?
Well be.
Do you have many aliens around there?
It could be the fact that they knew I was going to be calling you.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Trying to block me getting hold of you. Could well be the reason behind it.
Poor Vera, from Vera's Choice in the morning. I'm not going to play your jingle tonight. I decided.
I think you're running out of time, Stone, aren't you? You've got more 10 more minutes.
We have, well, I'd like to finish on a song, actually, because that then brings up the clock nicely to the news at 11. And of course, Dave Squires with you at 11 o'clock, singing over all his records and entertaining every single one of us with his marvellous personality. So Dave Squires straight after 11 o'clock after me, I do believe. I'll tell you what, you can choose the last song if you want, Vera, and then you can talk up to that point. You can make your selection now. The Tamperer, Feel It. This is not for people on YouTube or Facebook Live, I'm afraid. Phyllis Hyman, You Know How to Love Me. I haven't finished yet.
There's no question about it. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
Phyllis Hyman.
So that's 3 minutes and 41 seconds. I'll let you know a minute before. Carry on.
Yes, you were talking about what you started off doing before.
Yes. What was like when your first job and how you got to where you are over all the years. So I don't know how much you can fit that in about 5 minutes or so.
Quite easily.
Commence.
Right. I started off at the age of 17 the BBC. My sister-in-law worked there first, and she said, my sister-in-law, 17, just left school, because I stayed on to the sixth form, so I joined the BBC as a clerk, teacup, washer-upper, you name it, dog's body.
Right.
Did that for 6 months, because that was the time you had to do 6 months before they could decide whether they wanted to keep you or not.
Yeah. Shut
So I
up,
did
Danny.
all the dog's body thing.
Carry on. Yeah.
And then after 6 months and one day, I told them I wasn't making their tea anymore. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. I was
Ooh.
standing my ground.
You was like one of those Labour activists, weren't you?
Well, there's only so much you can do for 6 months. 6
Yeah,
months,
true enough.
5 days
True
a
enough.
week.
Yeah.
So that was it. Knocked that on the head. So they did go into the tea bar themselves rather than me making the tea for them.
Yes.
So I started off in publicity, and then still in publicity, captioning, and I made out pictures to all the newspapers and the magazines. And from there we moved, because we were based in central London, moved from central London to Television Centre. I think that was in 1986.
Good afternoon, BBC Television Centre. Can I help you?
To Television Centre. I was situated into the basement because there wasn't enough room in the office upstairs, which I quite enjoyed, actually.
You didn't have enough room in the office? I wouldn't have said you were that big, Vera.
There were, I think there were...
You didn't hear that, did you? No.
Did, actually. There were 10 of us and only 5 phone lines, so we had to share a phone.
Right.
That was great fun. So we moved from there to the media centre. Still within the BBC in picture publicity. We were all made redundancy. I took voluntary redundancy. I told them all that I wanted to work in a supermarket stacking shelves, and that is what I'm doing now.
Is that what you wanted to
Short and
do,
sweet.
work in a supermarket after that?
Not necessarily. I just wanted my life back. Because
Right.
my life in the BBC was literally 24 hours a day.
Oh, yes. Yes, I can imagine it.
I did 2 jobs within the company, so
Right.
it was weekends as well. So it wasn't much fun for me. I wanted my life back.
Do you miss the BBC at all?
The money was good. I missed the money. It was £15 an hour when I left there years ago. It's
When was
probably
that
something I was on 27,000 a year.
Oh, that was and what
to
year?
30
What year would that have been?
30,000. Would have been 2006, 2007.
That's a decent wage for that year, isn't it?
Yeah. So if I stayed there, I could possibly have been on 35 to about 40,000 now.
Okay. Was it about the money there?
No.
No.
It was. It was the travelling and the hours, hierarchy of the and stuff like that. If your face didn't fit the mould, then you couldn't move up any higher.
Where did you travel to?
I travelled from Hymes Park to City.
No, I beg your pardon. You said you travelled with the BBC.
Yes, I travelled. I did my programme. I decided was Come Dancing, so I
Yes.
had to go to Birmingham for that.
Right.
I've been to Scotland for Balamory,
Oh, yeah.
to Newcastle for...
Was that a kids' programme, Balamory?
Yes.
It was, wasn't it? Yes, I remember that now.
Been to Newcastle for St Green's drama.
Right.
To Minehead for, I can't remember what that was, another daytime drama.
Okay.
I've been sort of around the UK area, all over the place.
And
And
now,
back in the day, mind you.
and now you're in a
Apart from
supermarket. Do you enjoy doing that?
Particularly.
Not really.
Not particularly,
Is it just
no.
paying a wage and that's it?
Yes.
Weird City reckons that was
it
a
is
really
about
good...
the money.
Andrew reckons that was a really good wage for 2002. Did you say 2002?
2006.
2006. He said it was a really good wage for then. Does
It
sound
was.
like quite a lot of money for then, yeah. Yeah.
And before anyone asks, everyone that works for the BBC do not get free TV license. That's one of the
Oh, I
questions
didn't know that.
on everyone's tongue. No, we pay TV license as well.
Oh, I thought you was all on free telly, mate.
Nope.
Oh.
We have to pay our own TV license, not free.
Okay.
BBC workers.
Oh.
No, it's one of those things. I got into the BBC by default. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
passport.
Okay. 1 minute,
For
Vera.
me to go back in, I couldn't. They wouldn't let me back in anyway.
No. So what's the story in Balamory? Danny Drayton wants to know.
Story in Balamory. Would you like to know?
Was it cold up there?
What, in Balamory?
I bet it was cold, wasn't it?
Tobermory.
Was it?
It
Tobermory.
wasn't. It's tropical country up there.
That's not the Isle of Mull, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, I've been there. I went there with the Scouts years ago. Lovely place. Vera, gonna have to cut you off now, darling.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for calling in. Lots of love, Vera. See you tomorrow morning.
Welcome. Take care.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye, my darling. All right, boys and girls, here at Reach On Air, Dave Squires is standing by to be with you after the 9 o'clock news. I'll be with you again tomorrow morning, just after the 9 o'clock news for my daily music and chat show.
I can't seem to lift my head straight. Just laying in the shades with you. Win or lose, we take it easy. Day by day, oh, that's what we do. Watching people all stressed out, running through their lives, a game they play, 1,000 miles of sadness. I can be with you wherever, stay at home or in a foreign land. I can stay like this forever, 'cause I got the world in my hand. Don't you worry about tomorrow. Let's stay up until the morning light. Let the sun take care of your sorrow. And I promise the kids will be alright. 'Cause we don't want them all stressed out, running for their lives, a game they play, 1,000 miles of sadness. I can be with you wherever, stay at home or in a foreign land. I can stay like this forever, 'cause I got the world in my hand. Yes, I got the world in my hand. I got the world in my hand. Yes, I got the world in my hand. Yes, I got the world in my hand. Yes, I got the world in my hand. Yeah, I got the world in my hand. I can be with you wherever, stay at home or in a foreign land. I can stay like this forever, 'cause I got the world in my hand. 'Cause I got the world in my hand. I can be with you wherever, stay at home or in a foreign land. 'Cause I got the world in my hand. I can stay like this forever, 'cause I got the world in my
Well and done this evening. Now, all is well, Danny. Often you see me right at the end of the show. I'm basically talking to my Amazon device because I like to check the timing of where I've come out so that the news, and it was all perfect. I'm very happy to say. Anyway, thanks ever so much for joining us this evening, boys and girls. As I say, back on the radio tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, reachonair.com, here on TikTok as well. And also on a Wednesday night, again, 9 o'clock, my 1 hour chat show. That is only on YouTube, Facebook Live and TikTok. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye now.